How are you?
Good. So I hope that you guys have a good morning today. So before the class begins, I want you guys to look at this picture and write two to three words that they're all in common. It's like, what do we have in common? So write 2 to 3 words when you look at them, okay? I'm going to pass you some paper. So, I'll give you about maybe 10 seconds to write 2 to 3 words about them in common. Are you guys ready? Sometimes I'm thinking, okay. So time's up. Let me grab your paper back. You have no idea what it's now, okay? So let's share some ideas that you guys wrote. So for Jacqueline, you said 2 eyes, 4 legs, nose. Very good. And hair? With hair too? It's good. So Tonga is hair and eyes. Yeah, they all have hair and eyes.
I said the same.
Definitely. That is correct. So let's see what what I'm going to teach you guys today. So I'm going to pass you a handout that you can follow along with my PowerPoint and the lesson before I give you the outcome. So all the instruction is in the handout, even the outcome. So you just need to fill out the blank. Okay, we're going to read the outcomes together. You fill out the blank with me. So today the lesson is what makes an animal a mammal. So do you guys know what is a mammal? No. So a mammal, we're going to talk about the description or definition later, but today we're going to talk, I want you guys to know the outcome first. Let us read the outcomes together. Okay, are you guys ready? Okay, let's read it together. The learners will be able to distinguish mammals by drawing a made-up or painted animal based on the correct characteristics of a mammal. So please fill out the blanks in the outcome and follow along with that. So next page is talking about the definitions of mammal. So mammal, the simple definitions of mammal is a type of animal that feeds milk to its young and that usually has hair or fur covering most of its body. So please fill out the definition as well. But also that's too simple. I don't want you guys to learn something too simple. I want you guys to identify or distinguish mammal a little bit more by the 3 main basic characteristics that I want to share with you guys. So the first one is hair or fur over with cover. It's cover. Sorry for the mistake. So cover with their bodies. You have to figure it out as well. There's some blanks. And the second one is, can you please read it to us, Jacqueline?
It must be warm-blooded.
Yeah. What does warm-blooded mean? Do you guys know?
No.
So warm-blooded means that we all have temperature, right? Sometimes when you get fever, you get sick, right? But if you're healthy, your temperature is just right. So we can feel cold and we can feel warm because we're warm-blooded. We are all mammals. Humans are mammals. So the third one is all female mammals can produce milk to feed their babies. So do you know, like, based on these 3 characteristics, as a human being, as a boy and girls here, all you guys sitting around, that we are all mammals, right? Because you learned all these characteristics already. So Next, I want to show you how many mammals in the world today. So, do you know? There's a fact that we need to know is like there's actually over 4,000 mammals that exist in the world today. Don't you think it's so amazing to see that so many different kind of mammals? But based on the characteristic that we learned today, I want you to distinguish what is a mammal like. So turn the first page. In the first page, there's two boxes, right? So the left box is actually some example that you need to write down the name for the mammal. Just based on the characteristic we just discussed. And then in the right hand side of the box, you have to write something like, oh, this is not a mammal because that animal doesn't have the characteristic that we just discussed, okay? So I'm going to show you a picture and write the names of the animal down to the two boxes. And you have to distinguish by yourself based on the characteristics that we just learned. Is my instruction clear?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So next page. Okay, look at this picture and write down the names of the mammals and not mammals in the boxes. So I'm going to write the name down just in case you don't know how to spell the names. Come on.
Grant, what about the red basket?
So I'll give you 2 minutes to finish it based on the characteristic we just learned. Okay, I'll give you a hand out. Use your pen and then identify the example of mammal and non-example of mammal. And these are the pictures of some non-example and example of mammal. Just write down the name. It's MT4 grade. You don't mention anything, but just talk about the characteristic. Which is the first one is they have fur and hair. They have their body warm-blooded, and the third one is they have to produce milk to feed the baby. So there's 3 characteristics which is discussed. And based on characteristics, you have to distinguish their mammal or not mammal. And here's the picture.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, you have 1 more minute to go. Please pay attention to do your hand up. Follow along with the PowerPoint.
All right.
And you finished already, right? And I'm going to ask you to share some of the idea with us later. Yeah, what is mammal and what is not mammal? Mammal is a type of animal that warm-blooded, have hair and fur, and can give birth as a baby form and can produce milk to the baby.
Yeah, just put it in there.
Yeah, good question, and we'll answer it later. So are you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay, very, very good. So Tonga, can you please share with us the example of mammal, your answer with us here? And I'm going to circle them.
Dog.
Yes, dog is a mammal.
Pig.
Pig is a mammal. Very good.
Monkey.
Monkey is a mammal. Very good. Yes.
Rabbit.
Rabbit is a yes, a mammal.
Oh, really?
Ant.
And
Anything else?
is it
And the dolphin.
The dolphin is what you said? Okay, dolphin is a mammal. Anything else? Okay, thank you for sharing. So there's some example. So you see, as a rabbit, right, they have fur and they're really warm blooded because when you hold it, you can feel the temperature of a rabbit, right? Even a pig as well. So animals actually have temperature and fur or hair as an animal, and they can give milk to their babies because they give birth as a baby form of the animal form. These are the mammals. But there's some exceptions that make people confused. Okay, so what is the exception? One of those is dolphin. Dolphin actually really easy to make people to get confused what kind of animal they are. Actually, they're not fish, but they're actually mammal. Why I'm saying that? Yeah, very smart, right? It's really good. So dolphins actually give birth as a baby form as a baby form. They produce milk to their baby, so they have some way to feed their baby with milk in the water. It's really smart. And then the other thing is actually dolphin. They can breathe. They have to breathe in the air. So they have lungs. They have to breathe in the air, and then they have hair as well. It looks really, really smooth in their body, right? But actually, on the top of their nose is actually on the top of their head. And they actually have tiny little hair around their nose. Is that a good discovery? Yes. So dolphin is a mammal. And actually, one thing that you guys didn't get right is actually bats are mammal too. They can fly, but it's not a bird, but it's all actually a mammal because you can see the fur over here. The fur or hair, and you can actually know that they are actually warm-blooded. They're warm-blooded. And they actually produce milk to their baby as well. So bat is the mammal type of animal. So I'm going to clean that out. It should be fine. It should be fine. So let us turn to the next page, please. Let's turn to the next page, please.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And then, so after we learn the characteristic of the mammals, could you guys write down the characteristic that a critical characteristic that mammal has and non-critical characteristic that a mammal don't have. They have it, but it's not the same. So in the left-hand side of the box, left-hand side, you have to write down the characteristic that we just discussed that they have to have. And the right-hand side of the box, like the characteristic that they have it, but it's not the same. Can you just think about some example and write them down? I'll give you 3 minutes to do it. Okay, are you ready? Do it. You understand?
Yeah.
It's like the characteristics we just talked about. And non-characteristics, like maybe the hair color is different. They have hair, but the color is different, something like that. Like anything you can think of. We just talked about the 3 characteristics you have to know, and then this one is
And what is the non-critical?
non-critical. Is like, for example, they all have hair, but the color of their hair is different. Like they have some of them, like the dolphin, they can swim, but not all animals can swim.
Is the one the same?
Yes.
Oh.
I just talked about it. In the on the top of their nose,
Is it
little tiny hair. Yeah.
Oh.
Very tiny hair. They warm as well. They warm-blooded. They have to be warm-blooded. The 3 categories we just talked about. Yeah.
Is the
They have to
critical?
be. Yeah, critical is like they have to have the same thing. All of them have to have the same. They are live.
Oh.
Like for example,
Yeah.
they're warm. We just talked about they give birth and then they have milk. Something like that. We just talked about it in the first page.
Have to be able to sit on the not right?
Yeah, it's different. Like non-characteristic, it means something that they have but not the same.
You mean the other faults that they have, but it's not the same?
It is not a mammal, so you compare with mammals. Okay, you compare with mammals. For example, monkey and a bat. What's the difference? They have hair, but what is the difference? They can fly. They cannot fly. So the non-characteristic is like something that they don't have, like something that they're similar but they're not the same ability or not look the same or the color is different.
Mhm.
Just write that down and then share your idea with me. Okay. Okay, very good. Okay, time's up. So Brent, can you please share some of the critical characteristic with us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them is the break in the air.
Yes. Any ideas?
You said only one, you want me to give two?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they have two eyes.
Okay.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Maybe. And they have a hair.
Yes, yes. Very good. How about you, Tom? Now, can you please share some of your ideas with us?
Have the colors different?
That is non-characteristic.
Oh,
They have to have. Like critical characteristic means that they have to have it. They're all the same. Just like Rance share,
What
they
is-
breathe is
blood, what
yeah.
is it? Warm-blooded?
yeah, warm-blooded.
Fur,
Yeah, produce milk, Jacqueline. What? It's pretty
Fur.
good. Fur, they have fur, yes. So the non-characteristic part, Jacqueline, can you please share something?
So,
Mm.
dolphin cannot walk?
Yes, cannot walk, right? Not like the other animal.
Yeah. They don't have legs.
Yeah, they don't have legs, but they swim in the water, right?
Yeah,
So the
and
water
the other animal cannot.
cannot swim. Yeah, right. So any other idea? You can think of.
The monkey can climb.
Yeah, can climb.
The bat can fly.
Yes, can fly, but not all the animals can fly and climb, right? Also, the rabbit can jump, but not all the animals like all animals will jump like throughout their whole life, right? So, like the example that I could give you, the answer is the example for the critical way is like they have fur and hair, they have teeth, they give birth up to young, and they breathe in the air with their lungs, and they warm-blooded. Just some of the ideas just to give us. And then the critical, the non-critical characteristics, like the color of the hair is different, right? And even the skin of the color is different too. And the shape of their teeth is different. Maybe the way they live is different. Like some of them swim, like have to live in the water, and some of them have to live in the land. And some of them fly and climb, and some of them don't. You guys already talked about it, so it's just some of the more information to give out. So please turn to the next page after. So this page is a little quiz that I want to check you guys' understanding after we learn the characteristic of the animal. So I'll give you about 3 minutes to do it. You can do it right now. So they are multiple choice, true or false question, and picture question. Okay. So, very good class, time's up, and please pass your exam, like your paper to the person who will sit next to you to switch your paper. And I'm going to write down the answer on the whiteboard, and then you follow along with the answer and grade it by yourself. Okay, grade your partner's answer. So the first one is A, the second question is B, the third question is C, so the fourth question is mammal, and the fifth question is fish. The last question, 6, is C, E, G. C, E, G. So, this is correct. This one is correct, C. Yeah. So, how many of your class, of your partner get 100% correct? Raise your hand, please.
Which paper is this?
Yay, very good. So, seems you guys know the answer. So, what is the question that you guys got confused? Most usually, maybe it's okay. Oh, just need to pay more attention to class. The 1 and C. Okay, that's all right. So after we do the quiz, I check how well you guys pay attention to my lesson. And the next thing is I want you guys to think about what you're learning today. So turn to the next page as well. Turn to the next page. Okay, now. Yes, give it back to your classmate. Hang out. Thank you. So please, there's 3 questions that I want you guys to discuss with your classmate in 5 minutes. So 3 of them will be discussed, and then I'll ask you some questions after. You guys can do the discussion right now. Talk to the people who next to you. But this
My mind is full.
it's okay. Come on, discuss the question right now. The first question is, what question do you still have about mammal? The second, when did you have this question during the lesson? Third, how did learning law and clinical characteristics of mammal help you better understand the concept about mammal? So talk about it with your roommate. So do you have any question about? Yes, do you have any question about mammals?
Paper is one more, so I have the first one.
You got which one? You didn't count. You just
And
you already
kids?
did class.
It's mammal.
Oh,
Cat is mammal.
alright. So why you said warm blooded?
Because we have temperature. Mammal have to have temperature. Warm blooded. Because we can feel the cold and cold and
So warm blooded means they have
They have
warm
some-
temperature, right?
yeah, warm temperature. You can feel the temperature around them. But if I'm a reptile, a snake, I cannot feel the temperature around them. A frog cannot feel the temperature around them. So that's why they will go to bed.
Really?
They have the egg.
Really?
That's why
They
have
lay
the
eggs, they lay eggs,
yeah.
but mammal doesn't lay eggs. We give birth of baby form. Yes, any question?
Just talk about the other types. I mean, the other.
Yeah, it's like if you don't have any question, you have a clear understanding of the characteristic, you don't need to like think about this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then but the third question you have to focus on.
How did learning
Focus on the third question. What do you think about learning one critical? Like they are the same. They like the characteristic that they have but not look the same. Help you to better understand that.
So they just make it clear to me, you know, just make it more like obvious and the difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
people get
Aspects. We'll get confused.
like if we see some other animals that doesn't climb like monkey, we will say that is not animal.
It's not a
Yeah.
monkey, but it's still a mammal. It is a mammal, but it's not a monkey.
We will
Do you have any question about the first question? Do you still have anything that you don't clear about mammal after you learn the characteristic?
I think my answer, my question is already been answered.
Huh?
My question is already been answered.
Okay.
I answered my question, so.
Okay, so it means you don't have any question about that. So do you think, how do you think learning learn critical characteristics of mammal help you better understand the concept of mammal? Can you please share with the class?
But yeah, like what I said, you know, knowing the non-critical characteristic helps me to better understand the difference. And obviously, if you put those two together, you can tell, oh, this is the mammal, this is not. And at the same time, it would be confusing.
Yeah, it's confusing, like a dolphin and
Yeah,
a
because they're so
monkey.
similar.
Mhm.
Alike.
Mhm.
So it could happen, you know. Maybe mostly if you don't understand the real characteristics, what we are really talking about.
Mhm. Yeah. Yes, so learning mammal can help us better understand and distinguish what is mammal and what is not, right? Especially learning non-critical characteristic. So how about you, Jacqueline? Do you have any idea of that one, that question?
Yeah, as I say, we will misunderstand the language.
Yeah, like you distinguish between mammals. Yeah, distinguish between mammals. Just like what we talked about in the previous class, we have over 4,000 kind of mammals that that live and exist in the world. But they not look the same. They have different characteristics. They have different look and features in their body that you can distinguish them. As a monkey, as a rabbit, as an elephant, you know, they have different features in their body to distinguish their identity. That is why we have to learn non-critical characteristic of mammals, because they have different, that's why they have different names and different type of mammals, right? Even like a dolphin, they have different feature and characteristic in their body, but they're still a mammal, but just different than the other type of animal. That's why we have to learn non-critical characteristic to distinguish animals. Okay? Good. So the last thing that we're going to do is turn to the last page, please. I want you guys to draw a picture or create a picture of mammal, of your own mammal. Just like an example, I'll show you an example. It's my example. Okay, it's not a tiger, but it's an example that I draw. So write a name for the mammal that you created. My one is like, my name is Baby Momo, so it's like the mammal that I create, and then write down the three main characteristics of it beside it. So it has hair, temperature, and drink milk, something like that. So draw your own one and name it. Okay, I'll give you about 3 minutes to do so too. So name it. So you have a name and then they have all our characteristics that they have. Like this is hair, maybe it's hair, and then walk around it, and you have to name it. Yeah, give it a name. So可以转过来的那种小笔。Okay, you guys. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, time's up. So Brent, can you please share your memo with us and come in front of the class and share your memo with us?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Come in front of the class with us. Okay, so guys, okay, what is that?
The Kung Fu Panda.
It's a Kung Fu Panda? Okay.
Kung Fu Panda.
It's a name for the animal? Okay.
So,
It has hair.
as a warm brother,
Uh-huh.
heavily, and produce milk.
Yeah, very good. Thank you so much for showing. It's really creative, right? Really creative. So let us give a clap to Brent as he has done a good job. 3. Okay, are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Good job. Thank you so much. And that is the lesson. I hope you guys will enjoy the lesson and know what is this English memo. Thank you.